four-time world champions, one of the greatest football nations the sport has ever known. A squad loaded with stars from Arsenal, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, and Newcastle. And for decades, Germany carried one reputation above everything else. They simply never folded in a penalty shootout. Germany came into this World Cup as serious favorites, the kind of team everyone expects to see in the quarterfinals before the tournament even begins. But last night, that script was completely flipped. Germany were knocked out of the World Cup by Paraguay, a nation ranked 34th in the world, a side that had comfortably lost 2-0 to the United States less than 2 weeks earlier. And here's the part that feels almost impossible to believe. Germany lost on penalties. The country that built its legacy on winning shootouts was beaten in one. So how did this happen? How did one of football's biggest giants fall against an underdog like Paraguay? Let's break the entire story down. Before looking at the match itself, you need to understand just how shocking this result really is. This wasn't simply a case of a powerhouse losing to a smaller nation. For generations, Germany were different. Other countries cracked under pressure. Germany stayed ice cold. England became known for penalty heartbreak. Germany became known for ending other teams' dreams. Before this match, Germany had played in several World Cup penalty shootouts and had won every single one. They had converted 15 consecutive penalties in World Cup shootouts. 15 straight. Their last miss had come back in 1982, more than 40 years of unbelievable consistency from 12 yards. For decades, losing a shootout was something that happened to everyone except Germany, which makes what happened next even more unbelievable. The game itself started as a slow and frustrating affair. For the opening 42 minutes, almost nothing of real importance happened. Both sides were cautious, waiting for the first mistake. Then Paraguay produced the first dangerous move of the night. Germany only half cleared a corner. Miguel Almiron collected the loose ball before slipping a brilliant reverse pass into the run of Matias Galarza. His first-time cross found Julio Enciso, who powered his header into the net. Paraguay were 1-0 up. The underdogs had taken the lead. And this statistic perfectly sums up Germany's first half. They controlled 78% of possession, but failed to register a single shot on target. Think about that. Nearly 4/5 of the ball against the team ranked 34th in the world, yet they couldn't force the goalkeeper into making even one save. Germany reached halftime behind despite dominating possession and creating almost nothing. That first half perfectly summed up their entire World Cup campaign. Things improved after the break. Just 9 minutes into the second half, Liverpool's Florian Wirtz delivered a brilliant early cross. Arsenal's Kai Havertz got the slightest touch, and Germany finally pulled level at 1-1. At that moment, almost everyone expected Germany to take control. The giant had finally woken up. It felt like the winning goal was only a matter of time, but it never came. And this is where the biggest controversy of the match began. Germany believed they had found the winning goal. Jonathan Tah powered a header into the back of the net from a corner. It looked like the goal that would send Germany into the next round. But then VAR stepped in. The video officials spotted a coming together between Waldemar Anton and Paraguay's goalkeeper. They judged it to be a foul and asked the referee to review the incident on the monitor. After watching it again, the referee ruled the goal out. The equalizer was wiped away for what many fans felt was a very soft foul. The decision immediately sparked outrage across German football. Even former Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp questioned the call after the match. He pointed out that similar battles between players during corners had been allowed countless times in the Premier League this season, including goals scored by Arsenal. His argument was simple. The standard wasn't consistent. What is usually allowed in England ended up costing Germany a World Cup winner. Whether you believe it was the correct decision or not, it's another example of how VAR continues to divide opinion, with many fans unsure about how the rules are actually being applied anymore. But to be fair, Germany can't blame everything on the referee. That disallowed goal only became important because Germany couldn't finish the game themselves. Paraguay defended with incredible determination. Center-backs Jose Canale and Gustavo Gomez dealt with almost everything Germany threw into the box. Despite giving away both height and physical advantage, they kept winning crucial headers. Germany continued to launch cross after cross into the penalty area. Paraguay continued clearing every single one. Even Germany's own coach admitted after the match that Paraguay defended brilliantly. So the game went to penalties, the one place where Germany had always looked unbeatable. Instead, it turned into complete chaos. Kai Havertz stepped up first. The Arsenal star, usually so reliable under pressure, saw his effort brilliantly saved by Orlando Gil. It was Germany's first missed World Cup shootout penalty since 1982. A streak of 15 consecutive successful penalties ended instantly. Both teams then exchanged successful kicks. Then Orlando Gil produced another huge save. This time, he denied Nick Woltemade. Suddenly, Paraguay had two separate chances to finish the shootout. And that's when the pressure seemed to hit them as well. Antonio Sanabria dragged his penalty wide of the post. Moments later, Manuel Neuer threw himself to his left and made another outstanding save. Germany somehow stayed alive. The shootout moved into sudden death. Jonathan Tah, the same defender whose goal had earlier been ruled out, walked forward for the biggest penalty of his career. But he completely lost his composure. His effort flew high over the crossbar. That mishanded Jose Canal the chance to end Germany's World Cup. He made no mistake. His penalty crashed into the top corner. Game over. Paraguay, ranked 34th in the world and beaten comfortably by the United States just weeks earlier, had eliminated four-time world champions Germany on penalties. So what really happened here? Because the honest answer goes far beyond one bad performance or one controversial VAR decision. The reality is that Germany simply aren't the football powerhouse they once were. Not even close. To understand this, you have to look at the bigger picture. When Germany lifted the World Cup in 2014, after famously beating Brazil 7-1 along the way, they were widely considered the best national team on the planet. They had reached more World Cup podium finishes than any other country. They were the benchmark everyone wanted to match. But ever since that triumph, everything has slowly gone downhill. They were eliminated in the group stage in 2018. They suffered another group stage exit in 2022. And now, in 2026, they've been knocked out in the round of 32. That's 3 consecutive World Cup disappointments. Even head coach Julian Nagelsmann admitted it after the game. He said this was Germany's 3rd straight elimination and that they can no longer consider themselves one of football's elite nations. Just think about that for a moment. Germany's own manager openly accepted that his team is no longer among the world's best. The numbers support his words. Before winning the World Cup in 2014, Germany had won around 75% of all their World Cup matches. Since then, that number has dropped to just 40%. They haven't been ranked inside the world's top 8 since 2018, and after this latest defeat, they'll slide even further down the rankings. This isn't just one shocking result. It's part of a decline that has now lasted more than a decade. The players know it too. Kai Havertz looked devastated after the match. He admitted that this was his 2nd World Cup and that Germany had failed both times. He said they played decent football, but throughout the tournament, something always seemed to be missing. And that's probably the perfect way to describe modern Germany. A squad full of talented players from Europe's biggest clubs, yet somehow they never come together as a complete team. Now compare that to Paraguay. A squad made up mostly of players outside Europe's biggest leagues. Footballers playing in Argentina, Brazil, and the United States. Yet when it mattered most, they fought harder, defended better, and wanted it more. Maybe that's the biggest story of this World Cup. The traditional giants are beginning to fall, and the underdogs are no longer afraid. Uruguay crashed out in the group stage. The Netherlands were eliminated on the very same night as Germany. And now the 4-time world champions have been sent home by a nation almost nobody expected to make this kind of run. The old order of international football is slowly starting to change right before our eyes. And no team is feeling that change more painfully than Germany. A nation that once terrified every opponent has now become one of the biggest cautionary tales of this tournament. So what do you think? Did VAR rob Germany of a place in the next round? Or did this match simply prove that Germany are no longer among football's elite? Let me know your opinion in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay updated with every major shock from this World Cup, because something tells me Germany won't be the last giant to fall.